What is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here with another video for you guys, and I kind of wanted to talk about this topic a while ago, but I haven't had the time to actually touch on it. And yeah, before that, actually, I just want to hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. Please don't also forget that today is the ThunderStrike raids. They are ending, and that's important because we don't know if the runs of these raids will come back in some shape or form, like similar to how Quasar and Blastar left us, and they come back in the form of scourges or trials. And yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see what Scopely decides to do with the Thunderstrike, and how his red stars and yellows and all that other stuff are going to be associated in future releases. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it does come back in the form of those raids because they've already kind of spent so much time into it, and of course as well by then hopefully people would have built up some of the teams needed, whether it's Immortal Weapons, Brimstone, New Mutants, Winter Guard. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, so hopefully you guys are able to cash in on the rewards if you can, and if you guys weren't able to, hopefully you guys were able to at least get some stars for the event. But otherwise, yeah, today I wanted to kind of talk about another interesting point that's kind of come to my attention. And like I said, I haven't had the time to go through it because we've just had so many updates this week, and I just haven't had a chance to kind of simmer down and get a chance to analyze some of the data. But I wanted to kind of table the Blue Marvel dilemma. Now, as you guys may know, with regards to the release of Annihilus, we were basically introduced 3 legendaries and plus the additional 2 of the other ones, and they're going to form this team called the Galactic Council. Now, nowhere in either the blog updates or in anywhere in the previous mentions have they mentioned that that Blue Marvel is going to be part of this team. So I mean, of course, everyone's kind of wondering like, hey, the race to Blue Marvel is over now. So do we really need to even care about Blue Marvel? Because he's not on any team, and he doesn't necessarily get mentioned on any other characters in terms of like an assist or some sort of supporting role, and as well as the fact that we already kind of have our confirmed team, right, that we've got right now, the Galactic Council, and he wasn't even on the blog there as well. So it is interesting actually, and I'm mentioning this because there are people right now, like we are, with the introduction of Chapter 4. Chapter 4 will be bringing in the not only the characters and the tier 20 materials, it will also bring in the purple L4s and L5s. And that is kind of right now the only way that we can use to unlock Blue Marvel. But having said that now, is he even worth the unlock? Because he's not really needed on this team.
Here we're going to take a different stance where we are going to make sure that at the end of this age, you are going to have an Annihilus team that is basically consisting of all of these legendaries plus a couple others that will form a great team.
So, yeah, I mean, one, Blue Marvel's not even a legendary, so he's not going to be part of this team. And we already have our 5 confirmed members of the Galactic Council. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at here. I mean, you guys can agree or disagree with me, but just kind of what I've made as an observation here, just from research. And yeah, I was, I think like myself and other people, we got distracted with how shiny and how fancy he was at the start. Yeah. And I mean, right now, I'll jump into my Blue Marvel area here, or the progress, and you guys will see here, like, I was one of those dumb guys that actually, when we were doing the race and everything, trying to get the red stars on him, I had actually pumped up quite a bit of my resources into getting the characters, to try to maximize the red stars. Purchased a few offers. We pushed on the leaderboards. We did as much as we could, with fairly minimal spending. I think a lot of people, I think it was like $500 to, get him and to purchase him and to get him unlocked. And I think in my actual account, I think I spent about maybe $30 on like the actual like leaderboards. And I mean, I think I tried pushing really hard, and then right at the end here, I was able to kind of like squeeze out some of the last few leaderboard events by by hoarding energy, by hoarding power cores, and yeah, and that's kind of how far we got. Like we were pretty much almost there. The first few nodes we went with our Fantastic Four plus our Quasar and Blastar because we know they're going to be part of that Galactic Council. So it didn't make any sense if you didn't put in those characters. And actually, if you would have put into these 5, you would have pretty much had half the nodes already unlocked. Because as you guys can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, the first 5 nodes, I was using the same team. And actually, just the fifth node, that's the one where I just had to have a couple attempts there. So it wasn't anything crazy, but doable. Doable. The first attempt was like the worst, and then second and third attacks, you were able to get through it. And this is this is the one that actually had, I think, it had the Mephisto in there. So it was quite hard. And I mean, lots of people did different variations of teams, which is fine. But I stuck with the 5 that I had started with, right? And then of course, as you get into the Note 6 and 7, you would also get the Insidious 6 as well. So you would have to bring up Insidious 6. And of course, that's actually one of the reasons why I had to push on the ThunderStrike raids. I had all these guys already basically L5, right? Purple L5. So it was almost kind of like silly if I didn't push these guys to tier 20 as well. And I actually had to do a couple of them. Extremely pungent on the tech gear for sure. But it was worth it because now we were able to get our ThunderStrike passives and all that other stuff. Now, having said that, we were able to kind of also get the the Brimstone as well to L4, and now we're at this point here where we can actually push our Brimstone members to L5, and actually get the get the last few nodes in, which is totally fine. I could pretty much unlock Blue Marvel if I wanted to, but now it's like, is this another trap? And that's why I wanted to call this the Blue Marvel dilemma, because I've gotten to the point where I've already wasted so many resources into getting him, and it's just to find out he's not even part of this team, or at least unless they change things, or between now and the release of Annihilus, they mentioned something like, oh, Blue Marvel is also going to be a Galactic Council member, because right now as it stands, the only thing he is he's a Cosmic Bio epic character, and that's kind of it. And I mean, everyone can counter him in arena with Dormammu. So, I mean, his arena game is pretty sparse. He is pretty decent in Cosmic Crucible, but however, we've already kind of found ways to counter him as well. Like, we can counter him as well with Dormammu. If you haven't already, faced him before, Accursed and Dormammu is one of the best counters on Blue Marvel. Like, it's actually kind of crazy and almost kind of sad at the same time. Like, he's supposed to be this super awesome character, and yet we can counter him. And he doesn't really, he's a pretty good standalone character because he doesn't have to be on any specific teams, but he kind of thrives on the stats. And I mean, at this point, we only have a 5 red on him, so it is kind of the dilemma we're in. So right now, as it stands, I mean, we could potentially get him unlocked, and we could pretty much work on the rest of the nodes. But then, is that going to set us back a bit? Like, do we need those purple L5s for another reason? Because now they're going to be pushing the L5s into the Chapter 4 store. So that's the dilemma we're faced with, and is it a potential trap right now? So as it stands right now, my current stance is, like, even though if I can get them unlocked, what's the point, right? Getting them unlocked and pushing the L5s onto my Brimstone, it would make them stronger. They would be better in war. They would probably do better as well with the return of Battle World when it does come back with Sentry, so we can get some more damage on there. But is there any point in bringing up more characters for someone that's not really needed in this game? I mean, right now we've got some pretty crazy teams coming out we've got the new champions coming, and then we've got the addition of Magneto to the Phoenix Force group. We also have the Daring Warriors. I mean, we've got lots of crazy, awesome new teams coming on the horizon here, and is it worth even pumping more resources into a character here that we're not even going to really use? Which is why I want to coin it the Blue Marvel dilemma. As I've already mentioned before, like, was he just a big, I almost want to say he was almost like a big distraction, because once the race was kind of over and no one really cared about him anymore, the hype is kind of all gone. Lots of people that bought him and purchased him, like, that's, Scopely was, it worked. Scopely wanted to throw a character in our face, and he was like shiny and brand new, and it worked because lots of people did the race, and there was quite a few people that got him unlocked on the first day, and then after that, he kind of just fizzled out, and yeah, he didn't have the impact that Odin or Xavier had, and for sure it was like kind of even more funny when people started realizing like, hey, we could counter him with Dormammu in Arena. We can counter him with Dormammu in Cosmic Crucible. I don't know how he is in War because we haven't really faced too many, and I got to be honest with you guys, our alliance isn't very War heavy, so we're not like the craziest War players. But having said that as well, what I want you guys to take home from this is if you guys are, there's all these crazy characters coming out right now, and we've got Phoenix Force, Magneto basically coming in on Tuesday. I mean, he is an epic character, right? Like, his stats are just off the charts. He is the highest ranked attack, highest rank damage and health. Like, he is a character that makes Blue Marvel look like he's a baby, right? So, I mean, this is one character we can get behind in terms of stats and everything. And on top of that, actually, the best part about Magneto is the only thing we need is we just need some power core inputs. He's going to be awarded shards not only on a calendar, he's going to get orb fragments as well. And they've even indicated that we're going to get like basically a free orb and a half, just completing all the nodes. Hopefully it falls true to the same pattern that the Kestrel Zombie event went under. And as well as the fact that we're going to be able to use our power cores and get them unlocked pretty much without any money involved and no money input whatsoever. And he's going to be stronger and even better than Blue Marvel. Like his Crucible, if Blue Marvel is supposed to be a Cosmic Crucible character, then Magneto's going to make him for sure useless because he's going to be able to cancel all the speed bar. He's going to be able to apply disruption. He's going to be able to apply the silence. And of course, I mean, you need to have all his awakened materials to get the full value out of Magneto, Phoenix Force. But having said that, the fact that he is free to play and he's an epic character of this caliber kind of puts Blue Marvel to shame. And it makes me kind of wonder, like, yeah, was Blue Marvel just a big hoax? And now it's like, if you've invested characters into the L5, I mean, we were smart. We did it with Quasar. We did it with Blastar. And we were smart about it because they're going to be probably part of the Nihilist team, right? So we were smart about that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be doing L5s on Adam Warlock or Star-Lord just yet, but what I do say to you guys is be careful with your, with your purple L5s. The L4s, even really, that seems to be coming to us quite more generously, and they do kind of offer it in a lot of things. Like, even in the ThunderStrike raids, we had it come up a few times, and it was fine. Like, we had it in the milestone rewards, and we had it in the I guess it actually helps if I actually go into it and so you guys can see it. But yeah, so if you go into the Rolling Thunder, like they offered quite a bit of it, right? They had quite a bit of the L5s and the L4s. But obviously more of the L4s, especially if you completed all the milestones and got the passives done, right? So I mean, it was extremely generous of them to even give it to us, and I think they did give it to us as well in the command center, but you had to get the premium milestones to get them. But nevertheless, they are kind of pumping that out now quite more frequently, and now they said they're going to introduce it into the Chapter 4 store as well, depending on, I'm very curious about what the cost is going to be like. So anyways, guys, so yeah, I think if there's any take home, like I already said, I kind of got a bit long-winded there, so I apologize for that. But I would say even right now with regards to the Silver Sable leaderboard that's coming up, and it's going to be awarding L5s, L4s, we don't really need it at this point. I mean, really, if you're trying to push for the diamonds on her, great. I mean, good for you if you can do it and you hoarded energy. But right now, if you're accumulating the L4 purples and the L5 purples, don't spend it. I don't know if we need it right now at this point in time. Even if you're thinking like, hey, I still want to unlock Blue Marvel just for the heck of it because, you're a big fan of him and you want to just get him unlocked. Yeah, I mean, you could. Honestly, you can do whatever you want, but I do feel like it's kind of the dilemma we're faced with right now, and that's why I kind of had to make a video on it because it was a big fat trap, and we don't really need it now. And like I said, I think I have, what is it? I have, I don't have to go back in here. It's just easier if I push it there on this. But yeah, you collect basically the L5 from the event, and I mean, I have enough to basically bring up 3 of the last characters, 3 of the four or 5 characters that I need, and I could get them unlocked. I could easily do that, but the problem is I don't want to now, and it's like, what if, what if we need it for something else? What if a Nihilist requires tier 21 and L5s? Then we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot, right? So right now at this point in time, I mean, Blue Marvel's not going anywhere. The race is over. Hopefully they maybe hand out his red stars like the way they did with Xavier. That would be awesome if they did that. But otherwise, guys, I would say just hold off on spending your L5s at this time. Hoard it the way, hoard it the way that we usually do it, and that really, even if you do get Blue Marvel unlocked, like how game changing is he if he can get countered in the arena meta by a Dormammu, right? Or even in Crucible, he's scary to look at in Crucible, and honestly, the first time I faced him, I freaked out. Like I was like, holy cow, he's so strong. But then once you figure out there's ways to counter his speed, like I said, like using Dormammu, and you can pretty much give like your Fantastic Four or your Cursed a second life, then they can pretty much take him down. Or if you throw in a Sack Wave and then throw in your Fantastic Four or your Cursed, that also works as well. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's all I got for this one. Hopefully this has made sense. Hopefully it gives you guys some insight on what I feel like is, like I said, a big dilemma we've been faced with, and right now you've got the choice ahead of you. You can still, try to aim for the race, or not the race, but try to aim for the Blue Marvel, and try to get them unlocked if you wish, or if you were close enough and you only needed a few more characters, you can. But I do feel like it would be like another trap. And then, of course, what happens if they say, hey, Annihilus is going to not only require gear tier 21, but he's also going to need L5 purple. Now, that would be just a big kick in the, in the nutsack. But anyways, guys, hopefully this was beneficial. Hopefully this gives you guys some insight. I honestly was kind of like a little pissed at myself because I was like, I should have just waited. I should have just, maybe played it slower. But, I was kind of greedy and I wanted his red stars. And that's kind of, that's my fault, right? I kind of got blinded by that as well, by the shiny new toy that they're, throwing in our face. But hopefully you guys are able to learn from that. If you guys haven't invested any L4s or L5s and you have been saving it all this time, good for you guys, because now you can kind of fully take advantage of it if we do decide it to need it for another character or for another unlock, right? So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Always appreciate it. Always a pleasure, and I'll see you guys in the next one.